Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Duwa and I'm a current junior in the Applied Investment Management program at Marquette University, and today I will be pitching Norvartis. Norvartis is a major global pharmaceutical company focused on providing its customers with low-cost products at high quantities. Currently, Norvartis occupies 18.88% of the global pharmaceutical market share based on 2020 sales revenues. Novartis is headquartered in Basel, Switzerland, and was founded in 1896 by Alexander Clavel under the name Sandoz, which is currently one of their divisions. It has one other segment, Innovative Medicines, which represents 80% of all sales, while Sandoz represents the remaining 20%. As of Wednesday, February 24th, Novartis' stock trades at $86.15 per share, with a 52-week range of $72.58 to $107.45. Overall, in the past 12 months, Novartis' stock has jumped all over the place, as you can see from the 12-month price chart provided on this slide. As discussed in the previous slide, Novartis is a massive company and through acquisitions and partnerships is only going to continue to grow. The industry that they are currently in is expected to grow at a CAGR of 6.1% through fiscal year 2026. After a slightly disappointing 2020, the acquisition of Cadent Pharmaceuticals was announced, giving Novartis access to their products for specialized neurological disease and disorder treatment. Additionally, in January of 2021, Novartis agreed to terms with Pfizer and BioNTech to help produce their COVID-19 vaccine and their facilities. For these reasons, it is recommended that Novartis is added to the international fund within the Applied Investment Management program with a price target of $95.71, representing an upside of 11.09%. Beginning in 2017, Novartis started a collaboration with PATHAI, a Boston-based private biotech firm that specializes in artificial intelligence applications in diagnostics. This partnership was created to recognize patterns in human cell samples in order to increase the accuracy of cancer diagnostics. Currently, 3% to 9% of all cancer diagnostics are inaccurate or misdiagnosed, and the goal of this project and collaboration is to end this. The project began by creating a simple artificial intelligence code that could read human cells and analyze what structures were working correctly and what were not, and became more and more advanced through machine learning processes, and now can currently recognize patterns in human cells of cancerous cells, along with patterns of hidden cells that cannot normally be seen by human analysis. The AR healthcare market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 30.4% over the next 4 years, and Novartis is positioned well to be at the forefront of this growth. On the right side of this slide, you can see an example of what the artificial intelligence program looks like versus the human eye, and the top is what a typical human skin sample would look like when looking for skin cancer, versus the bottom shows what the PATHAI artificial intelligence program sees, with the green areas being general cells, the red areas being damaged cells, and the pink areas being the actual cancerous cells. These two images are actually originally identical before the artificial intelligence program screens out based on the cell structure. As I'm sure you can see, the bottom picture image, which is the artificial intelligence screened image, is much more easy to read and decipher and provides more analysis than just looking at the overall pink image. As discussed briefly in the investment recommendation slide, in December of 2020, Novartis announced that they would be acquiring Cadent Pharmaceuticals, which is a leading neurological therapeutics company based out of Massachusetts. Cadent has a very unique method using brain waves to target patient-specific brain areas to send correcting rhythms to correct the patient's brain and ultimately give them a long-term solution to a serious neurological disease without medication. This acquisition cost $210 million up front for Novartis and has potential milestone payments of $560 million, but really positions them well to break into this field, as no other major pharmaceutical companies have exposure in this type of therapeutics. And this also gave Novartis access to the 3 major treatments that Cadent has either on the market currently or in development. One, MIJ-1283, which is used to treat depression and other mental health applications, will remain on the market and still with its current applications. And the 2 other ones, CAD-9303 and CAD-1883, which are currently in development for schizophrenia treatment, will be converted into treat ALS and Huntington's disease. And this will give Novartis good exposure into terminal disease solutions, which is something that they don't really have a ton of exposure into currently, and this market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 10% through 2026. On January 29, 2021, Novartis announced that they had agreed to terms with Pfizer to produce a portion of their COVID-19 vaccine in their Stein facility. This production will include the bottling and shipment of the mRNA agent back to BioNTech so that the COVID vaccine agent can be added and then shipped back to Pfizer to be distributed. Although this deal does not specify payment or quality produced, a similar deal was structured between Pfizer, the U.S. government, Sanofi, and GlaxoSmithKline to produce 125 million units of the mRNA agent for $2.1 billion in payment coming from the U.S. government. It is unclear if this payment will be coming in subsidies or in cash injections, but this transaction could be used as a precedent transaction for a deal that would be structured between Pfizer and Novartis. Additionally, the live vaccine industry is expected to grow at a CAGR of 6.1% through 2026, and Novartis gaining exposure into this through the production and bottling of the mRNA agent could give them a potential to break through with their own live vaccines, but nonetheless bring in tons of revenue from either the U.S. government or Pfizer payments, due to the fact that Pfizer is expected to bring in $15 billion of marginal revenue in 2021 alone from COVID vaccines. First, a 5-year DCF model with a terminal rate of 3.5%, a discount rate of 11.14%, and a beta of 0.85 was constructed to reach an intrinsic value of $94.82. I then conducted a sensitivity analysis on the perpetuity growth rate and the WACC of plus or minus 50 basis points to get a range of values between $108.44 and $84.31. Next, a 5-year dividend discount model was built with an average growth rate of 2.42% and a WACC of 11.14% was used to reach an intrinsic value of 69.82, along with the assumption that the share prices, if purchased, will be sold back at market cost today when discounted 5 years in the future. I again constructed a sensitivity analysis using the dividend growth rate and the WACC plus or minus 50 basis points to get a range of values of $71.21 to $68.46. Lastly, I constructed a relative valuation metric of price to book and debt to EBITDA to reach a relative valuation of $111.78. Weighing the models 70%, 10%, and 20% respectively, I reached a price target of $95.71, representing a potential upside of $11.09. Novartis had recent legal, anti-competitive practice, fraud, and product safety issues. In 2020, they had a provision for legal and quality issues of $306 million, but at this time will not build up a non-current liability for this issue due to estimation of value issues, but this could represent potential lawsuits, loss in sales, loss in market share, and damage to the overall brand of the company. Novartis operates in many highly competitive industries, including cancer drugs, cancer diagnostics, eye care products, generic pharmaceuticals, and biosimilars, which are always up for patent disputes, price competition, quantity competition, and quality competition, and will always have to be working to gain some kind of competitive advantage over that competition. Finally, any product or therapy that does not make it out of their pipeline or research and design phase can be a massive problem for the entire firm and can result in deadweight loss of any capital invested in the product, potential loss of sales, potential loss of market share, and deadweight loss of R&D invested into the project. Currently, Novartis has a relatively young board, with the CEO, Vasant Narasimhan, only having 15 years of industry experience, but all 15 coming with Novartis. In the past, he has been the global head of drug and development at Novartis, and he is currently a member of the board of fellows at the Harvard Medical School. Harry Krish, the CFO, has 25 plus years of industry experience, 17 of which coming from Novartis, and was actually previously the CFO of Innovative Medicines prior to taking this role in 2013, and is also the CFO of Pharma Europe. Steve Byert, the Chief People Officer, currently has 14 years of industry experience, all 14 of them coming with NVS or conglomerates, and previously he was a board member of GlaxoSmithKline. James Brander, the president of Novartis Institute for Biomedical Research, has 22 years of industry experience, with 5 of them coming with NVS. And he was previously a physician scientist at Broad Institute of Harvard and MIT, and a physician scientist at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Shannon Kilger is the Chief Legal Officer and has 12 years of industry experience in the medical field and many more outside of the healthcare field, and has 9 experience in Novartis. Previously, before holding this position, she was a partner at Mayer Brown LLP, the global head of legal at Sandoz, and the chief ethics and risk officer of Novartis. The board also includes 1 person of color and 1 woman. Overall, Novartis has had a very strong history and track record in the pharmaceutical industry, but that's not what's important. What's most important is their potential for growth in the future through inorganic growth of mergers and acquisitions, partnerships with major companies, and future products that could change the pharmaceutical and diagnostics landscape forever. In addition to this, they have strong financials, good cash flows, and a potential for high growth rates throughout the future, and they pay a constantly growing dividend. I would like to thank you for your time and listening to my presentation and would like you to address any potential questions to the D2L page during the live Q&A session through the Applied Investment Management Program or to my email, which is listed below at andrew.duwa@marquette.edu. Thank you.